What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back here yet again to another video. If this is your first time watching, my name's Aaron. I now currently have a 2022 Gen 3 Coyote that's Grabber Blue. If you are subscribed to the channel and you haven't seen any of my videos I put out in the last, I don't know, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, and you're wondering why I'm in a Gen 3 Coyote and not my 2012 GT500 that put down over 700 horsepower, and you're wondering what the hell happened, did I miss something? If I traded that car for the GT which I'm in now, which is not the case, and I will explain that. And I also wanted to just clarify that. So if anyone is confused on why I'm in this car and not the GT500, I wanted to break all that down and explain all that. Why I decided to go with the car that I have, why I no longer have the GT500, and then also I've now had the car for just over 3 weeks. I wanted to give my perspective and my opinion and my overall thoughts on this car, and if it was worth going from the S197 GT500 to this Gen 3 Coyote. So let's jump into it. So I tried to go down in the track, down on the speedway where they do like Fuel Fest and the LMR show and everything like that, because it's open and they're letting cars down there. And I asked, hey, what event's taking place? And she couldn't release the information to me. She said it's a private event, and if I don't know what's going on, she can't even tell me what event's taking place. A little strange. I've never had anyone tell me that that's a private event and I can't disclose the event that's happening. Anyway, nonetheless, I can't go down there. I tried, but we're just gonna park somewhere else. I just had a shirt because I just thought that was kind of odd. Okay, so if you've been subscribed to the channel before, and you would know that I've had a black 2012 GT500 with a VMP Gen 2R supercharger, LTH, long tube headers, X-pipe, bunch of other stuff, put down just over 700 horsepower on 93, tuned by, not VMP. It was originally tuned by VMP, and then I moved down here to Texas, had it tuned at HPP, but that's where it put down over 700 on 93. So I've made multiple videos in the past talking how I wasn't going to get rid of that car. I was going to hang on to it. I was going to die with that car, and that was my initial plan. But sometimes life happens, and this is why I did it. So a lot of people have commented, mainly on other forms of social media like TikTok and Instagram, not so much here on YouTube, but saying that I straight up traded in my GT500 for a naturally aspirated Coyote, which is not the case at all whatsoever. What I did is that car was obviously paid off. It was bought, paid for. We didn't owe anything on the car. So the quickest way for us to pay off debt to help us get pre-qualified for a home by the end of this year is by, if we sold that car, we could pay off a butt ton of debt and then trade in my Camry. My daily driver was a Toyota Camry. So we sold that car to a dealership, sold it because that was the quickest way to get rid of the car. I know I would take less by trading into a dealership, which is understandable. I knew what I was stepping into. Sold that car to a dealership, and then a week later, I had my eyes here on this 2022 Grabber Blue Metallic 5.0. Now the Grabber Blue on these is not exactly what it's been before. It's got more of like this, like a pearl, like metallic flake into it. It's not the same type of Grabber Blue in my opinion. I feel like it's brighter, it pops more, it's just a cleaner, it's more of a mature Grabber Blue. I don't know how to explain it, but it seemed like the older color Grabber Blues, it was more of a kind of like a flat. It didn't have, or a flat. It didn't really have any depth to it. I don't know if the cameras can pick it up, but you got all this like flake in it, and I love it. So a week after I got it, or sorry, a week after I sold the GT500, I saw this. Actually, I saw this beforehand, but I didn't think I was going to pick up a car as soon as I did. I got the car exactly a week after I sold this, and the reason being is the color. I didn't want this car to sell because of the color. There's not a ton of brand new Grabber Blues for sale in my area. I was able to swindle a deal, and I traded in my Camry, so we went from having 3 cars, or F-150 truck, the GT500, and my Camry. Sold the GT500, as I said, traded in my Camry for this. I will say, initially, the hardest thing to get used to when going from a 700 plus wheel horsepower car, manual, to a naturally aspirated 400 wheel horsepower car, obviously, is the power. But when you put all that aside, the platform on these cars is far more superior than any S197 has to offer. Now, as I said before, and I'll stand by it, the S197, especially the GT500s, is the best body style, hands down. This, though, is a very, very close second. In other videos, I talked about keeping that car and going with the new 2024 S650 platform, either going with the standard 5.0 premium or even a dark horse. Probably was leaning towards staying away from a dark horse just because of what now the price point of those start at, and also when you add up all the things that you could add to that car, you know, the performance exhaust, the premium interior, and the carbon fiber wheels on those things. If you guys haven't seen what the look of those, I'm not a fan. I'm even not more of a fan of the carbon fiber price on the S650 Dark Horse, but that's a whole separate topic altogether. I wanted to stay away from that platform for now because you're just not sure how or when it's gonna be unlocked, so you could tune them, what mods you could throw at it. There's just a lot of unknowns, but that being such a new platform, and I wanted to just wait and have that unravel, and then maybe down the line I'll pick something like that up. Getting rid of the GT500 was probably one of the hardest things I had to do, but sorry, I saw this guy on the freeway. It's a little distracting. But I got rid of that car for reasons not connected to the channel. I didn't walk into a dealership and saying, yeah, so I'll just trade in my 700 plus horsepower GT500 for a completely stock, naturally aspirated Coyote. That's not what I did. I've had probably countless people, at least 100 comments just saying, why would I trade in a GT500 for a Coyote? That's not what I did, and that was not the purpose. I actually traded in a Camry, not the GT500. But when you compare the two, a stock GT500, especially the 11 and 12s, to a S550 Gen 3 Coyote, this is a better platform. It's not even worth arguing about, because the Gen 3 Coyote compared to my car stock, yeah, it's more horsepower, it's 550, this is 460. Technically it was 450, but I took out the carbon air filter in this, which is what reduced the horsepower. Side note, if you have a 22, 23 and you want to know why it's reduced from 450, from 460 to 450, it's the carbon air filter in the intake. So you just remove that, and there's your 10 horsepower. The Gen 3 Coyotes, the 10R80, I think those run about a 12.2 around their stock quarter mile. The 1112 GT500s are 12.3 to 12.4, I believe. Somewhere right around the same, maybe even a little bit slower, and that's supercharged 550, 460 horsepower, naturally aspirated. And these just respond to mods a lot better. Full bolt-on E85, this will run 10s before you even throw a supercharger on it. So the GT500 is my dream car. It still is my dream car. The S197 GT500, I think, is the best overall body style ever produced. I will eventually get another one again. When I do, it'll be a 13 or a 14 GT500. That's why after a while it just seemed like the right decision to do, and this, regardless what most of you will say, is a better platform than a 11, 12 GT500, even compared to the 13 and 14s. Those have the 662 horsepower. The braking point on those cars is the same as the 11 and 12s. Right around 800-ish wheel, maybe a little bit more. You're running on borrowed time. These can handle a lot more power, and you don't have to do as much to these cars to just gap them. I mean, everyone has a 5.0, a Gen 3 Coyote. There's more of those around than GT500s. It's regular traffic, and I don't really care about all that. I just care about it's new. The technology in these things are awesome. The color, that's my hands down the new Grabber Blue. I love it. I love black cars, but they're a fucking pain in the ass to keep clean. But I love it. I love the color. And it doesn't take a whole lot to make these things a monster. And that's what helped convince me going from an S197 platform to an S650 Gen 3 Coyote. But on that note, I just wanted to come out and explain on what happened. If you guys are just tuning in, why I have this car and you haven't seen the GT500 in a while, I just wanted to come on here and just better break down why I don't have that and why I got this car instead, and the process. And I did not trade or sell that car for a Coyote. It was a separate transaction. So you guys, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. You guys have a great one. If you're not subscribed, please do me a favor, hit subscribe, drop a like and a comment. And as always, I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.